Now then, guys, this is the first episode of the Smogcast. Massive thank you for tuning in. This podcast is basically just a space for like-minded people to get together and just go through the general day-to-day talks and conversations that we have. We're going to have a bit of a laugh along the way. We're also going to be getting some guests on as well further on down the line, just so obviously we can introduce our mates and people that we know in the scene, and also just interesting people from outside, so we just obviously get an understanding of what their perspective is, and also just have a laugh with them. If we do say anything that might offend someone, then we do apologise. We really don't mean it, but in the good spirits of Louis Hasty, if you can't hack it, get your jacket. So, basically, I'm Ollie. If you don't know me, my name is Kodiak. To my right we have
Mickey Ray.
And then to my left we have...
I'm Jack.
I'm Jack.
Yeah, it's one of them, innit?
What do you do?
So, my role in all this, I run the brand label events promotion, which is NSA Records. We've been going for like 10 years, doing events and promotion. But we wanted to branch out because the world's moving fast. And like if you don't keep up, you get left behind, basically.
Absolutely,
so
definitely.
we're branching out into podcasts, branching out into vlogs, trying to keep content going, trying to reach new people, trying to reach it. We're getting on a bit now, so we've been going for 10 years now, 11 years, 12 years. And there's a younger generation coming through, and like we're trying to keep into tune with the younger generation. So by doing things like this, we feel like we'll reach a wider audience. Pass over to Michael. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so what they said. But so going on from like what you were saying, Jack, about the record label and all that, what do you reckon your favourite record labels are?
Do you know what it is for me, mate? When it comes to like favourites of things, I don't really like. So if you ask me what my favourite movie was, I wouldn't be able to tell you. If you ask me what my favourite meal was, this and that. Same with the label. Anything you ask me, I'd never have a specific answer for something. I always like a collection of things.
Yeah.
And like.
Alright then, I'll rephrase
For
you.
those, well, you don't even need to. Well, like for those that know me, obviously know like my favourite few types of genres, which would always be like jungle, drum and bass, reggae. For me, currently at the minute, it would always be like I'm listening to a hell of a lot of like, you know, like the new old school jungle.
Yeah.
Like so, like basically the new era of jungle, which is focusing on the old sound. Your Tim Reapers, like your Sullys, like all them type of people. So at the minute, I would probably say it's Tim's label that I'm probably listening to the most, and like maybe just like artists in general, like Dward and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I wouldn't give you a specific thing and be like, that's my favourite label.
Yeah. Changes all the time though, doesn't it, I think?
Mate, like, do you know, in 6 months, like, if you
yeah.
ask me the same question, I'll probably say something completely different.
Sometimes I like completely just, I aren't even listening to electronic dance music, I'm just listening
to something different.
Because like, for me, it's just like, depending on the time, how we feeling at the time, like, you just change it up, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, mate, coming down here, I was listening to some jungle, and like it was like jungle that obviously like we all know, we all love, but I've not listened to it in ages. You know, like your B Keys and Nebulas and like Scientific Wax. I'm not listening to that as like in like maybe like 2 or 3 years, and I'm thinking like this is still ridiculous. It'll still smash it in a club or a free
I think that's just
party.
the old school stuff. It just keeps it's like it's
raw.
It's authentic, isn't it?
Yeah,
like that's why I think jungle in itself is still going now, is because of that stuff was so raw and impact. Like I had that much of an impact.
Mm-hmm.
That like when we listen to it now, it's still fucking nice.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
We still love it now, and that's why like the scene in itself and jungle in itself is still going to this day strong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it always will, to be fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely no, yeah, it's definitely mate, it's coming back in a big way. I mean, I see it's not coming back because I think it's always sort of been there if you knew like the avenues and all that, but it is definitely a lot more like out there in terms of like the exposure and stuff in the commercial
I feel like
scene.
you were right in what you were saying there, like, you know, like when you're saying it's coming back, it's not necessarily coming back. I feel like it's revived a lot more because of the current like rising influx of vinyl sales. Like the vinyl culture's like grew again.
Yeah.
Which in reality like the like old school jungle was all vinyl. Then like it went through a period of like very fast, hard rave jungle digital music.
Yeah.
And then like that sort of like old sounds coming back, but like you can tell it's new but old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know what I've never understood is like obviously going on about the vinyl sales and that there is like you have that mass vinyl sales with jungle, but why is it not so big with drum and bass? Do you know what I mean?
True. That is a point there, yeah, because like obviously when drum and bass first came about, that was all like on vinyl as well.
That was
wasn't
all
it?
on
Actually,
vinyl.
not to be fair, CD was around then as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And like obviously like CDJs were sort of like coming in with some. It might have something to do with that. I'm not too sure, but like that is a good point. Like
you these days, like if you're a junglist and all that, like you're probably gonna have some jungle vinyl, and still like there's a lot getting pressed still to this day. But drum and bass, like I wouldn't think that I'd be buying a drum and bass vinyl. Do you know what I mean?
It's not going to really happen, is it?
True.
I just wonder why. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, one thing I could maybe think of is like in terms of drum and bass, it has got a bit more exposure, like in the mainstream side and the commercial side. You know, then jungle is a bit more of a niche audience, so maybe like if it is more accessible, then maybe I don't know, the commercial side of like label heads might be thinking, oh, it's going to be more accessible. Keep it digital, more accessible. More people are going to keep buying it, keep up to date with the times, and that's how we're going to keep our labels alive, and maybe keep doing what they're doing. I don't know. That could be what it is.
I feel like with drum and bass compared to jungle, drum and bass is obviously like the audience it reaches is like levels above jungle. Like jungle is a lot more niche. Drum and bass has got so many different subgenres. It's so huge. It's like Ollie's saying there, like they've just like the amount of drum and bass that gets shot out. Like it's like, are you even going to be able to like keep up with putting that on vinyl?
Exactly.
Like,
True. Like and obviously a vinyl record's a lot more expensive than buying a digital, 320 or WAV.
Of course.
And if you are pushing that much out, which it does get spewed out, doesn't it? Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it is good, but like there's a lot of shit there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
of course.
It's all subjective.
It's all subjective.
It's all subjective, but like for me, there's a lot of shit there as well. Because there's just like
there is a lot of shit
there's
there.
that many drum and bass producers. Do you know what I mean?
There is a lot of shit there, mate. Because like what I sort of see is like you have like the underground rave scene, yeah. But then you've got within that scene all the genres. So for instance, we're in an underground rave scene, yeah. Jungle, drum and bass, techno, ravecore, bassline, garage, breakcore, etc. Yeah. Within that scene, each one of them genres has got its own scene where like some people will only listen to that music. For instance, we play a lot of drum and bass in our scene, yeah. A lot of jungle, a lot of garage, but then them genres itself have got their own thing where the people who listen to that music don't even branch out into the other things.
Yeah, it's mad that, isn't it? Really.
Like, and drum and bass is probably the biggest underground genre at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe garage, but it's garage is a bit lighter and a bit more mainstream.
It's like garage now. I mean, the garage that's on the radio and the mainstream stuff is not like the garage that we would think of as garage.
Yeah, of course.
The absolutely like bounce your head off garage. I think of it sometimes.
If it's on the radio as well, it's already like
it's gonna be tame.
Yeah, I'll throw a curveball though and say that like you might disagree with me, and I don't understand why, but like house music is the biggest underground music genre.
That's
like,
true.
Do you know what I mean?
That is natural.
That's where it came from.
That's probably.
Of course.
I mean, it's the most easily accessible, and don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good stuff, but then obviously some stuff that doesn't really do for me. But yeah, that's where it all came from, the rave scene. Do you know what I mean? But I know what you're saying in the sort of the scene that we're in, like house music doesn't really get played. I mean, remember that time at the free party that we went down to Southwest?
Yeah.
Literally just finished a drum and bass jungle set, smashed it, and then the guy who went on after me, closing set at the free party, started with "I'm Hungry for the Power." And like everyone just sort of like turned away and walked off from the rig. You know what I mean?
That party was the worst tunes I've ever had at any party I've ever been to. Like, is that do you know was it like in a big quarry?
Yeah, that was the when Elliot had to come and rescue us because we ran out of we had so no money for petrol, ran out.
That party, right? Like, apart from Ollie, what did you play, half an hour, 40 minutes?
Yeah, about 40 minutes, yeah.
Like, and like he was ripping the jungle out, right? Like proper tunes. And then but everyone at the party was a bit like not feeling it, and we're like, what's wrong with these people here? Then they were playing these bait tunes, and everyone was feeling it.
It's strange, because how were they in the field doing that?
Yeah, we were like, what? That was the worst party I've ever been to for tunes ever in the history of all parties. Wasn't it though?
Yeah, it was bad. Like
it was bait as fuck.
Oh mate, we ran out of petrol as we got into Bristol. we were like driving around looking for a petrol station for ages, and like we didn't have any money on us. We were like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? We rang Elliot. And Elliot came from the party. We were in Bristol, but the party was like a good hour and a half away still.
Yeah,
from
but
Bristol,
should we tell the full story? Because it started.
Oh, it did, bro. Oh, bro, it did, mate. Yeah, it did actually, mate. It started miles back. Oh,
so
yeah.
So that night, I think it was.
Actually told me this.
Have you not?
I think it was August bank holiday, right? And it was like 2015 August bank holiday. 2014,
yeah,
2015,
I reckon. Some of that.
No, it was 2014, right? No, let's be specific.
Jack's good at dates.
Yeah.
I always ask him about dates, you know, when we moved out, when we moved in and that. Because I've got
2014, right? Like, we were like, August bank holiday, we're like, yeah, let's, like, we knew the party was on in Bristol. But we were like, yeah, let's not go and do a mad one, because, like, let's keep it chill. So, like, let's go to this reggae sitch up Newcastle. So I think it was either Common Unity or Idle Gardens. I think it was Idle Gardens.
Yeah.
Had like a reggae thing on in Newcastle, little 2-stack thing in a pub. So we goes up there, like, you know, there was 30, 40 people there. It was a little small pub thing. Obviously we got there, I drove up in a van. Like, obviously I had like a bit of a beer and that, like nothing mad. Like, just driving, and then like Ollie's like had a few beers here and there, and we were like sort of in front of a stack, and like it's bank holiday, you know, we've got a couple of days off. We're like, yeah, like, fuck it. Bearing in mind, we lived in Middlesbrough at the time, so like you've got Middlesbrough here, Newcastle's up here, and Bristol's down here.
Like,
so we've already gone further away. We've already gone the opposite direction, right? So like we've gone the opposite direction, and then at this point we're like, couple of hours in, like, yeah, should we should we go to Bristol? yeah, it's a good idea.
There was a crew of us on it first of all, wasn't there? Like,
there was a few heads there. And then like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. So we drives back to Borough, drops a couple of heads off. Who like, we're like, yeah, like, a couple of heads were a bit more sensible than us. We're like, yeah, like, we're not doing that, like, that's a long thing, that's a long mission, that. So like, I was like, yeah, I'll drive it, me, like, I've had like 2 beers, I'm sound, like, I'll drive it. So we drops a few heads off in Borough, and then like me, Ollie, who else?
Josh Gill,
yeah, like we were like, yeah, let's go to Bristol, and we were a bit like, obviously at the time, mate, like 21, 22, 23-year-old, whatever it was, like, you know, like in daft. Yeah, let's go, like we were skint this and that, we'll drive down there. Yeah, but if we drive down there, once we get there, it'll be sound, won't it? Drives down there with half a tank of fuel in the van. Gets to Bristol, mate, like we're on our arse here, and then like the party's like 40 minutes away, like going down the road, and the van just starts going. Van starts cutting out and pulls in this petrol station, and obviously the woman, like this little like Thai woman, like in the station, like, obviously clocked the situation, like she knew we'd fucked it in that. And then we were like sort of sat in the station, we were ringing Elliot and that, and we were like, Elliot, like, you know, like just come rescue us, like sort the fuel out, we'll send you the money when we get back home, sort of thing. And he's like, yeah, sound. He's like, where are you? We tell him where we are, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm like 40 minutes away. We're like, sound, mate. By this point, right, we've drove down to Bristol from Newcastle, 6.5 hours. We've got to like Bristol at like 7:30 in the morning. By the time Elliot gets to us, it's 8:30 in the morning. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the party's like, it's like we're already like 8 hours late to the party, right? So like, we fall asleep.
in your ass pocket.
We fall asleep like this in the van, right? Fall asleep in the van. Elliot knocks us up, knocks on the window. So we're trying to like fill the van up, and the woman in the station like won't release the fuel because she knows we've been sat there for ages. And she's at the window going, show me the money.
You gotta show me the money. You gotta show me the money.
So Elliot's whipping his wallet out like that, going like that. We've got cash money. So like she's like whips the cash out with that, whacks 80 quid in the van, yeah, 100 quid whatever in the van, fills the van up, goes to this party. Get to the party like 9:30, something like that. Mate, we rocked up with this party, mate. You might as well have been at like a year 9 school disco, mate. In terms of the tunes, do you know what I mean? Like, location, unbelievable, right? Location was like in this massive quarry, lads flying about on crosser bikes. Yeah. All your typical free party heads there, like the crowd and the vibe of the party itself wasn't bad.
Generally
like,
all right.
Yeah, it was typical free party sort of setup. The tunes, mate, I don't know what was going on with the tunes. Like set after set was just bait. Like,
but you said people were like buzzing them and that.
Like, sort of. They weren't buzzing them, but they weren't like
But
really like there was people in front of the
but
stand.
they were offended when they heard some good jungle.
I think it was a bit. You know what it was? You know what it was?
Because that last came up with her, didn't she? Like, you know, like, was she? Is it Kat? The one who does the visuals, you know, like Broken Car and stuff like that.
I know what you're on about, but I didn't know she was at that bar.
Because like she came up, wasn't she? Was like, oh, like any of you was like DJs and that, like she was like, play some jungle. So like, and that's when I went over and like Black and got a set and played jungle, and I was like thinking, oh yeah, there must be one in it and stuff like that. And like they just
went on,
it was, I was like, alright.
I think they probably listened to that much shit music, done whatever they'd been doing through the night, and then like they were just like in a different level to like handle that sort of art, because he went in on hard on the jungle, to be fair, like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like proper free party jungle, it was like quite ravey jungle, wasn't it? Like, and like from my experience anyway, I don't really hear that much jungle at free parties anyway, unless we're playing it. Like,
if you go down south and that, you got your hard trance and all that, innit?
You got
D&B.
Your hard trance and D&B.
That's what they're kicking about with Anna, really. Like,
and then like your jacking and all that stuff, like jacking house and like fidgeting and all that sort of stuff as well.
But like, it literally went on, and like the lads who we spoke to and went on. Bearing in mind, when we got there, we didn't know any of the rigs. Like, we knew of them, seen them about online, this and that, but like we never knew them on a personal level. I had a bit of a crack with them and that, and then like one of them was like, yeah, jump on. And, like, once Ollie jumped on, like after 20 minutes they were like, mate, and he was killing it. Like Elliot and like Tom Powell and that were like buzzing off it. Like, we were like, I need some tunes and that. And then like the few of the rig owners were like, yeah, it's a bit much in that, this like trying to tear them off the decks after 20 minutes.
Maybe it's like, what time did the party start?
Oh, it would have been like 11, 12 at night.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I know
by the time he went on, it was like 9:30, 10 in the morning.
Yeah, that's when you get your alchemies in there with your finger and that, maybe, you know, our parties and that, like, obviously, we structure them a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of nuisance behind the decks and that, people arguing.
Yeah,
like,
true that.
But
I just thought, mate, because we're in Bristol, free party, you know what I mean? It just wasn't meant to be.
Maybe they had too much good jungle later on in the before
No, because Tom Powell and that were there, and Elliot all night they were just like, mate, these tunes have been diabolical. Like, mate, how long were we at the party? 4 hours?
Yeah.
4 hours, mate, and we bailed it.
Yeah.
So we drove over 6 hours from Newcastle, right? So this party
sat in the garage.
The party actually wasn't even in Bristol. The party was in Somerset. It was like so like where we were in Bristol, where Tom and Elliot came and got us from, was like another 40 minutes drive into Somerset. It was mad.
So going on the last thing there about the red label stuff and that. What's your favourite red label?
Oh, we'll go back to this one,
we went off, didn't we?
Yeah, we did go off, well, let's go, and it's a little bit like Jack, where it's like I can't specifically pinpoint one, but I've got two.
Yeah, I'm interested to know yours.
Yeah.
You have got probably one of the biggest variety and widespread sort of taste for music.
I guess one of his signature records.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And then the other one, I don't know.
Yeah. So the other one is like Metalheads, just mainly because of like the history that it's got, you know, in the scene, like back in the 90s and stuff like that. So, like the tunes that they were putting out then. Obviously, the tunes that they put out now were still wicked, because like it's one of those labels where you hear a tune, like, you know, that's been signed to Metalheads, you know what I mean? That's been released on Metalheads. But yeah, it's just obviously like the history of it all. But yeah, definitely Signature as well, because obviously it's Caliber's label. But yeah, they're my two favourites. What do you reckon?
Do you know what I feel about like Metalheads? Do you know, like when you get a producer and you've heard that many of his tunes, and then you hear a tune and you don't know what it is. And then you're like, oh, that sounds like a Kodiak tune or whatever. Like whoever the producer is, because like they have that like flavour, like or that sound. It's like the sound, isn't it? With Metalheads, it's like you can hear a tune and be like, that's on Metalheads.
Yeah, exactly. It's mad, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Even if it's a different producer, like do you know what I mean? They've got like a niche sort of sounding, like it's almost as if like the people who sat behind the curtains are like, they'll only accept this sort of like it has to be this beefy, this meaty and this dirty.
It's got tick boxes. If it doesn't
meet these certain criteria, it's like it's not coming in.
And that with like, you know, your most established like artists, regardless of the genre. Like say like for instance like Vandal, Manny the Extras, Sully, Tim Reaper, etc. Whoever you were listening to, if they made a new tune, and you were hearing it for the first time, so you walked into a party or you walked into an house and your mate had it on, and you didn't know who it was, you'd never heard it before, you'd probably be like, oh, is that so and so? It sounds like them. Do you know what I mean? And that's because they've found the sound.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Either that, or they're using the same samples over and over.
bit of both.
But there's not wrong with that.
No, there's not wrong with that because some people do it perfectly,
Yeah,
bro.
they do
I mean,
it perfectly.
Alex
can be
used
done.
the same drum break in probably about 50 of his D&B tunes, and every one of them sounds beautiful, man.
Because it just adds loads of nice stuff around it.
Exactly,
each and
that's
every
it.
time.
That's it.
That's it, isn't it?
Going back to what you were saying before though about like, you know, when you hear like an artist and like you hear their tunes and you know their sound and they do a release on Metal Heads and you're like, oh, that is different. Like the artist that like made me realise that as well as Halogenics. I don't know if you've heard his release on Metal Heads.
I haven't heard it.
Oh mate, it's beautiful.
See, I wouldn't have pictured Halogenics on Metal
I
Heads.
mean, yeah, exactly.
Like, what's going on
But,
there?
I didn't know that.
But it's like it has got those like characters like of Halogenics in its tunes, but it has got that something different, a little bit more grittiness, rawness, and like
The stuff that made them
something
tick
a bit
off the
deeper.
boxes.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the
it.
Metalheads ticks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you reckon your favourite label is then?
For me, it's like it changes. Like I said with the, you know what I'm listening to and all that changes. So like, at the moment, it's like Deep Jungle Records.
Yes, that
Like they're
The
killed.
Dward and that.
Yeah, it's got Dward, Tim Reaper and Dward have just done a collab on it. You've got like Pascal, Harmony, like, and what I love about the record label mate is how frequent they're putting tunes out.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
You know, touching on the sorry to cut you off, mate, but touching on the like, you know, your favourite record label. Going back to like favourite tunes, like, so you're not going back to it, touching on favourite tunes, like. My favourite tune always changes. Currently, my favourite tune is one of Dward's off like Deep Jungle, which is Holding On.
Oh man, that's a tune.
That's probably my favourite tune at the minute. But you know, in 6 months it'll be something else.
Do you know what I realised? You know, when we did the vlog and that for the last event and that. Obviously, I didn't.
If you haven't checked it out, check it out on our YouTube channel. Watch this will be on.
So I turned up obviously late at that event and that I pushed my knee up. But obviously the event was from 4 o'clock and that. Ollie, you played about 3 sets, did you? And like through the day and that, Ollie was dropping tunes and obviously smashing the jungle out.
You dropped that.
You dropped that.
Yeah.
But then like obviously I played the Saturday night and I dropped that.
But bro, it went down just as perfect.
Just as
I walked in, I was in the toilet.
I didn't even notice you dropped that.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Bro,
at the start of the set.
I know, it wasn't the toilet. I think I'd been outside. Or I remember coming and drove from like the smoking area, so when you come in the bar's on your left. Like I came in and like I just heard the vocal, and as I came in I was like ran to the front and I was just singing. I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous.
I think it's been in my last like 2 sets or something, if not 3, because I've just been buzzing it. You know what I mean?
Such a
you know them tunes that like you'll be building your sets and that, and like I'll always go back to my few previous sets and like, well, I still want to play that a bit more and that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're still buzzing it.
Absolutely, you got those gems, don't you? Let you go back to where it's like no matter how many times you rinse it.
And that's it. Like,
I'm just thinking there. Yeah.
I'm
just going to speak to our producer. Is the mic picking that rain up? It's raining.
No, but it's nice, you know. Like you know when you're in on a cosy night. Yeah. So Deep Jungle Records. Like I was saying, the reason why I do enjoy it is because of the frequency that they're putting the tunes on. It's like from a DJ's perspective, like it's just like more bangers to play with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I respect that because obviously we've got a label now, and we know the amount of effort it takes to like put into like getting them released out, artwork, and you know all the promotion and all that. And it makes me think like, you know, they're putting like probably 2 or 3 probably like EPs out like a month from that. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's quite that often, but I know what you mean. They will usually line a couple up ready.
Banging a couple out at a time and that.
Probably 2 at a time.
And like it's good from a DJ's perspective. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Like bangers and stuff.
I feel like with that as well, like with labels that are strictly, obviously we're a digital label, aren't we?
Yeah.
But like with vinyl labels, I feel like they don't really have a choice but to like get 2 or 3 pressed at a time. Because there's 6, 7, depending on who you're going with. There's 6, 7, 8, 9 months backed up of like at the pressing plan. So like these labels are sort of forced to be like, I need to get 2 or 3 releases ready I'll release them within a couple of months of each other.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you just like get a release in and release it, and then like you might be waiting 10 months for your next one.
Yeah.
And that's because like the pressing plant's back.
So we're back, guys. Sorry about that again. So as we were talking about favourite record labels and stuff like that, you were talking about Deep Jungle, weren't you, Mickey? Talking about obviously release dates and all that. Have we got anything else to say about the Deep Jungle?
Just that, like, the reason why I enjoy them as a label. Obviously I said one, because of the frequency that I put the tunes out, and two, because you know, like the amen to break ratio, in a sense of like the tunes that are just like amen tunes, just full on jungle, like they've got a nice like blend of like, a lot of the tunes are just like cruising, just like rolly drumming tunes, and just like
nice breaks.
Just nice breaks, you know what I mean? And like it's not just all full out boom, war jungle and stuff, and like it's just nice to hear that other stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Hello, whoa! Have we got like
Who's that?
or something? Have we got an alien?
Someone's connected to the speaker.
Hey, it's a good job. It's a good job it wasn't. But anyways, it's stopped now. So we'll just keep it rolling.
That's a funny one, that one there. That was a bit of an unexpected one.
It could have been a lot worse, you know what I mean?
Yeah, imagine.
For that, not for us.
I seen a video on it was like Instagram. Some bloke, do you know that where it's a fake video and then it's like
oh god,
like the thing with you and that, and he'd sent his mate it and that, but his mate was sat in between like two grannies, like two like and I mean proper grannies, mate, like you're talking like 75, 80-year-old, like hunchback and Notre Dame and all that, like the full works and that, and you see him go, oh, check that out, mate, funny as and that, and he's checking out like that, and
so he opens it.
Fully.
All hell breaks loose.
Yeah, everyone on the train's looking at him and that. It's like, obviously the grannies aren't like down with the kids and that, and they don't know that's a crack. Have you noticed it's always the same?
She's
mum?
probably got a 3310 still, you know what I mean?
Like, it's not like he's just watching normal porn, like where it's like, but it's always that same moan,
signature moan,
that signature moan, but they're still like dirty, how embarrassing. Do you know what I mean?
I've been called that a few times. I've walked around in some probably awkward
It's
situations
sad
as well. It is a savage one.
Yeah, you can be in some awkward situations with that one. Like.
But like I think maybe just to wrap it up in terms of like talking about record labels, Mickey being a producer, a fellow producer, what record label would you like to get a release on, or would you love to get a release on, like, you know, maybe in the future? Hopefully in the future.
Hopefully in the future, definitely. So like I'm starting to push a lot of, well, not push but make. So it's all in the pipe works, like a lot of jungle and that. And I'm liking future retro. I'm liking like the Cat in the Bags and that.
Yeah.
It's just anyone who wants me, to be honest. Like anyone who
Free
wants.
with good home.
I'm free with good home, mate. Like I've got some
Prostituting.
Yeah, I'm prostituting my tunes, mate. Like the sexy tunes, mate. I've got some sexy tunes lined up, and they need pimping out. Do you know what I mean? 100%. But like, I've been working on it for a while, like, because I've been making a transition from jungle tech, which I used to make, to like.
I feel like you're out of that now.
Yeah, I'm well out of it, mate. But like, it's like.
You did say you were making a tune earlier, but I've got some jungle tech.
Jungle techno.
With a CH. CH, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm starting to like make that sort of stuff. So like, you know, I value all them sort of labels that I've just mentioned in like quite high regard. So yeah, I'm quite lazy when it comes to like, you know, I'm not the one to like start talking to people and being like.
But that's what you need to do, mate. Because
I know.
With this scene, like, and this is like subjective from my point of view, because like what people like and what other people like is different. So like, if you take offence to it, that's on you. That's on you. Taking offence to it, because I see a lot of shit people out there, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I just mean like your shit's not up to scratch, and they get bookings, and they get gigs, they get festival gigs. get releases on labels, and genuinely for me, I look at it and I just think, it's a bit, not that it's shit, but I'm just like, it's a bit, it's a bit whack. And do you know what it is? When I look at these same people, I look at them and think, you're the most active on social media.
The network.
And like, I see people who are like, can make tunes that are like way better, who just like stay at home, chilling out, living their life, like not like in people's faces, not online, and they don't get the bookings because in this scene, right, it's like out of sight, out of mind. So like, you can be in people's like, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you use, TikTok, whatever. If you're out there, like, and like you're making people laugh, you're making people smile, or people are enjoying your tunes, or like whether you're just doing daft content, like in like you're a bit of a DJ on the side, you will get bookings because people like you for you, or people like you're in people's face, and then other people are like making tunes on a much higher caliber level, but like they're like not in people. It's literally out of sight, out of mind. I'm just more on waffle about it, but it's literally out of sight, out of mind. If you're not on there talking to people and speaking to people, people might think, oh, I would like to book that person one time, but then like they're seeing this other person like every day in, day out, and like, I'm going to book this person for my event because it's going to bring people in the door. Like bringing people in the door is not the same people as when people are in the door, they're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely,
Like,
if you're not active, if they go on like your Instagram or like
anything
like that, if they see like you're not active, they'll be like, oh, is he even still doing it? I don't think they're still messaging,
still alive.
Still, exactly,
do you know, but that's the sad reality.
I get that. Like, I just struggle with like online. Like,
it's not necessarily more the sense of like being online and putting pointless bullshit statuses on, like a fucking 17-year-old, like, oh, just had some beans on toast.
What?
Do you know what I mean?
What's on your mind?
What is on my mind today?
Well, let me have a
But
think.
it's more a case of like messaging the right people, good people that you want to be associated with, and people you want to work with, people who are running labels, people who are running events, sharing your music and your production with them. You don't have to be putting all these bullshit statuses on going, fucking next door but freeze, aunties, fucking budgie that picks up a lamppost. Like, do you know what I mean? No one cares about that. But people do that, and that's what gets people booked. People are online. People are online these days on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. Going, fucking our aunties, next door but freeze, fucking budgies, fucking parrot that fucking pissed up a lamppost.
Why is that was a lamppost?
Got locked up for fucking hanging out the arse end of a cat. You know what I mean?
Fucking hell, man.
I remember that.
This is the shit.
This shocking behaviour.
This is the type of shit that sells, and this is the type of shit that get people buttons. And then they turn up and they go, that set was bait as fuck, or that set was shit, or that, not necessarily, it might not even be shit, set was average. And it's like, there's people out there sat in their bedrooms, sat at home, sat doing their thing, mate, just quiet, chilled out people who are just sat there with a fucking arsenal of like weaponry that could be shelled out. But like, people aren't messaging them or emailing them because it's like literally they're like seeing that much, taking that much bullshit online day to day. It's like, say for instance like some Darren Brown shit, right? So like what you see all day subconsciously is like always in your mind, isn't it? So like, and that's the crackers with bookings. Like, you might be out there, you're at work, mate, 10 minutes on social media, so-and-so's done knocked fucking, it's 5:30 in the afternoon and he's knocked 4 statuses out. You knocked your last one out 3 days ago. Out of sight, out of mind, mate. Like, I'm repeating myself, but that's a crap,
No, I agree with you, mate. I mean, like, even, like, Calibre, mate, like, he was notorious for, like, not having, like, any social media, not having a website. Like, the only way you could get in touch with him is through emailing his agents. And, like, now, I think maybe since, like, even, like, before COVID, like, 2019, like, he first popped up, like, on an Instagram page, it was like, that was off, and then it was, like, turned from Calibre to Signature Records, and then he had a Facebook page as well. And then like even from there, like even that page, I don't think he runs it, but that's not even like active a lot, but it's still active enough for him to keep him like obviously going out.
I feel like with things like Calibre, right? People like him are like wanting like 1 in a million.
Yeah, that's it.
And
That's what I mean. Like,
they
only
don't
he
even
could have
really
done
do
that.
much,
He
but they
doesn't
just
need to
blow
do
up
that.
No,
anyway.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but now it's evident he does, though. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because for so long, that was his crack. Where I was like,
Over the time.
yeah, he's like, I don't need to do it. Like,
Yeah.
his music sort of speaks for him. But like now, he's doing it. Like, I don't know. He might just thought, yeah, I'll put it on there. But I don't know. Like, the way that I perceived it was like, yeah, he has to keep up with the times, and even he has to be on social media. So it was just a bit of a random move, but.
And that's basically what we're doing with this podcast here.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like we're trying to like we put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation by doing this podcast. Like only in a sense by I mean like we've never been in front of a camera before in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we touched on like
What way have you been in front of a camera?
Don't worry about that.
Bent over with his head getting built.
Don't worry about that. So, but no, you know what I'm saying? Like we've played in front of 300 people, 500 people, 700 people. We've played in like sold out gigs with 4, 5, 6 rooms. Played in front of gigs like it's not like we're shy being in front of people.
Yeah.
Being in front of a camera is a different feeling.
Yeah, classic.
And like we're doing this now to reach out to new people, to new audiences.
Yeah.
And not necessarily what we're going to take with this podcast. It's not even all about music.
Yeah.
It's going to be heavily influenced by music, but we will branch out. And that's just the way we want to go with things. Like, so, as I was saying there, Mickey, like the plans for the podcast, obviously, it's not always going to be like, obviously on this episode, we've spoken a lot about music, specific type of music as well. But just because we're like the NSA brand in general, for people who do know us and the people who don't know us, like obviously we're an events brand, a record label, etc., X sound system, blah blah blah. We are actually going to branch out into like all walks of like life of like topics of discussions with guests we're going to get on. We're going to get guests from the music scene on. We're also going to get guests from like people, just even general mates who like do certain professions. Other general mates who are involved in sports, etc. We're going to talk about life in general, science, everything like. So it's not all about music, even though we've talked about music and that's our platform. We are trying to reach a wider audience and just sort of like spread. Not really just spread a message, but like sort of spread our vibe in a way that like we want to know what other people's crack is. So like I would be open personally to get people on this podcast who didn't agree with views that I agreed with.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. Cause that's what
that's what it's all about, isn't it?
100%, man, definitely.
To see what other people's thoughts are and opinions are.
It's
You know what I
good,
mean?
it's
That's
good
what
to
makes
do
an
that.
interesting conversation, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If everyone, like, obviously we agree on quite a lot because, I mean, you associate yourself.
Yeah, but even us three don't agree on everything.
Not on everything, but like our core values and that are the same because that's who you associate yourself with, what you believe in, don't you?
Yeah.
But like it'd be nice to have like people on who have different values, mad like do mad things and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might have to research into people and see.
I know where you're touching on, but you can't obviously name something specific. You just like where you would like to challenge people in it, but not like in an aggressive, argumentative way.
Yeah.
You would like to have a debate with
just
someone.
discussions, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Let's have a discussion.
It just helps expand your understanding as well,
Well,
like your perspective
yeah,
on
Also,
things
as well, like for me, right, one of the reasons I want to do this podcast is because we've got that many stories, right?
Yeah.
And like that many funny stories. Like I want a lot of humour to be in this podcast. Like, not forced humour. Like I want to get people on this podcast that we know, are just naturally funny people who've got naturally funny stories to tell. Because at the end of the day, like laughter is like one of the best things in life. You know what I mean? It's the best
If
medicine.
not the best.
One of the best medicines, isn't it? And like we've got some funny fucking mates.
Yeah, we've got friends that like you look at them and you would think like this life has to be a simulation because you're just a character in this.
Are a character.
You can't exist in the normal real world, and they do.
They do. So like,
but do you ever look at someone right and think, how does he get through day to day?
yeah, what's going on?
Because you only see them in the club when they're mashed, and you're like, this geezer's a character. This geezer's quality people, unreal people, jokes people. But then you think, what's he cutting about doing on a Wednesday?
That's it, innit? Like when the free parties, mate, you see those old school crusty
What do you do on a Wednesday?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what you do?
Who's employed this
And
for
that
that?
should be a question that we ask them. What do you do on a Wednesday?
Describe your perfect Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
No,
But yeah,
absolutely.
I think it might be a good place to just wrap this first one up.
Mhm.
And yeah, I look forward to having the chat and seeing what comes of this.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, so if we're going to wrap it up, we can wrap it up now, because
Yeah.
literally I could keep talking for another hour. But we'll wrap it up now. Give us 3 to 4 weeks for the next one. We're going to try and smash one of these out once a month. Maybe as we get going, if people are enjoying what we're doing, we'll start getting them more frequent. The next one, we're definitely getting a guest on the next one. We've already got him lined up. It's a good friend of ours. It's going to be jokes. Don't really expect any podcast to be the same as the last one. It's like, it's going to be jokes all the way through. On that sense, we're going to wrap it up. I'm Jack.
I'm Ollie.
And I'm Mickey. This
Dean's
is
our producer.
Dean, big
Beck's
shout
our
out.
sound guy.
And that was
We're
the
going to wrap it
Smogcast.
up.
Yeah, that's a Smogcast, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Smogcast, NSA Records on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, put some comments in the comment section. It will help us grow, it will help us spread our thing. So thank you, peace out.
Absolutely.
I have the 30 commentary on there. I was like, nah, I'm just going to keep listening to that. Podcast on yeah, so just had that on my status on instead.
Right then.
Post-pod race.
Oh, does this move or not? Does this like have a
Yeah.
about it? Yes. Then we brothers, yeah? We brothers to start off with, and now, you mean now to me?
Brothers died.
Bastard! I asked. I asked.
Oh no!
Yes!
No!
Oh!
Look at this!
Yes!
Oh!
Yeah, Ollie, see you choose that.
Who just won there?
Yeah, me.
Ollie, do you know, like, as wise, to be honest, like, I'm not gonna
Not going to sugarcoat it.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I'm not gonna be a sore loser, but to be fair, right, Jack stepped up, right, and he pressed his nos,
Then your nos after him, mate!
and I was about to turn the corner. So you can't give someone nos whilst you turn the corner, mate, do you know what I mean? I'm not fucking Lewis Hamilton. So, if Jack didn't step up and intervene, I would have won there.
You reckon, Jen, that's the crack?
Yeah, I'll fight you
What
next
about
time.
that,
I'll
mate?
race you next time.
Fight me next
I'll race you next time.
I'll get you next time.
You little bastard.
See, Jack actually drives as well, so.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. I've got a Shelby, mate.
Don't worry about that, mate. I've got a Shelby.
See that there? Boom! Tuesday!
Ah, Jack's so fast. Shit, boy. Oh man, this is neck and neck. This fucking hell. It's intense.
No!
Both wiped out there.
That's me in front there. Is this me winning it now? What's the crack here?
Oh, Jack's hit the wall again.
Yes! Get up! Fucking buzzing with that.
Mate, look how much was in that. Mate, look how
Hey, that
much
was
was in
close,
that.
that man. Good game, man.
Oh, mate, I'm fucking buzzing with that.
Okay, right.